So we find ourselves back with the IS300. Ed stopped by to show me his truck and do a little burnout for us. But got everything buttoned up. Starting to look like something. Did figure out the miss was the coil packs. So gonna step right here. Turn the old switch on, get a little prime there. Smokes a little bit. We got the mounts hooked up. So you probably got some tinking with the pipes touching and whatnot. There you go. Alright, so we're taking the rear diff out of the IS300. I did, however, break a couple of the bolts loose here. I put some PB Blast on them to loosen them up. That's definitely my go-to stuff. So I've already drained it, so I took the plug out of the bottom, took the plug out of the side so it wouldn't create a vacuum and it would just run out. So I've already drained that out. So the next step is to go ahead and take all the bolts out of the axles that you can see. Let's get you here. These bolts that go in the axles, we're going to take all them out to get both axles out. Then we'll start turning the diff loose. So, alright, here we go. Alright, so what happened was the bolts on the end of these dudes, on this side it tried to strip on me. Well, what I did is going ahead and unbolted the diff all the way, put it on the transmission jack, and let it down. And as I'm coming down, I knock the spindles out, and they actually allowed the diff to spin a little bit and pull each spindle out. So that actually was kind of easier, to be honest about it. That's probably the way I'll do it from now on, actually. Because, I mean, usually these jewels are pretty tight. Then you have to Loctite it when you go back on. I've actually lost some in my son's car. We had to replace, but yeah, that seemed way easier. So we may do that. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so from here, it's pretty routine stuff. What I end up doing is taking the cover off, the rear cover. I forget what it says. I think it's like 14 or 17. We end up taking the rear cover off. Then we end up taking some brake cleaner and washing out, and it's 14, and washing out the rear, or the rear diff. Sorry, I'm looking for bolts at the same time. Let me find everything I need and get my brake cleaner, and we'll get ready to start cleaning it out. All right, here we go. All right, so Looking at the rear diff here. We're going to go ahead, spin all the bolts off. I did break them loose. Alright, so I got it coming off. I actually pecked a little bit on this side and it come loose. And what we got here is an LSD. Let me see what I can find out. Alright, here we go. Alright, so on the IS300, on mine, it's the torsion LSD, limited slip. Torsion, however you say it. Well, I decided, I'm not really sure how to weld that thing at all. I think my best bet will be to sell that actual rear diff and get a FRS from a Scion, I think it's a Scion FRS, and do instead of, alright, so I think the manual IS300 is like a 370 something rear diff. The automatic is like a 390, and I think they come in open diffs, non-locking or whatever. And I think, I can't remember, but both options may have the option for the torsion. But I know the automatics do, for sure. They have that option. So I done some research, done some digging, and I found out that the BRZ, the FRS, and the 86, the diffs are all the same. And I did actually call, I found two of them from Knox Auto Parts. I'm getting those from Knox Auto Parts. I've dealt with them before, they do great. Not the cheapest in the world, but they usually stuff's pretty good shape. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and get one for myself, one for my son, and we're gonna have them both welded. Again, because the 3.7 in the manual, which my son's a manual car, I think it was manual from day one. This one's been swapped, so I'm pretty sure it's a 3.9, and the FRS is a 4.10, and so that's going to give us a lower gear ratio and more torque. So in my mind, for drifting, we're going to keep my son's, but this one, for this car, we're not going to keep it. I'll probably sell it or something. I may hang on to it until I get another FRS one or BRZ and add to the collection, and have it as a spare or whatever. But my son's, we can keep it as a spare until we either sell it or get a different one. That way we got a spare. This rear diff looks like it's brand new. I mean, the numbers are still plainly on there. It's not, unless somebody's kept this thing extremely clean, this thing has been rebuilt. So, well, it all looks like new parts. It looks amazing. Considering the swap and the R154 and the 2J with the turbo, somebody spent a little bit of money, so it's possible it has been rebuilt with new parts. It's new stuff, it looks like to me. But again, with all that being said, I'm going to, today's Wednesday. It won't be here till like Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, so I'm just going to leave this thing alone. I'm going to detail up my rollback a little bit. I'm trying to get my son's car in here if some of the parts come in. We ordered a clutch master cylinder and a new clutch line from Chesserenterprises, and we're going to change those out. We're having a little bit of a spongy pedal feel since we've changed to the clutch, and I think it's just not enough clutch. It's not moving enough fluid, so we're going to go to a bigger, it's a 0.75 clutch master cylinder, so that'll allow it to move more fluid and all that. So we're going to try to get that, if it comes in before we go drifting, we're going to try to do that before this weekend. If not, we're still going to clean his car up, get all the tires ready, get everything ready to go, and So yeah, I'm just gonna hang out on my car. I may do some small tinkering. I'll get the truck washed up and stuff, and the parts still aren't in for my son's car. I may do some of the smaller stuff on like the Civic, like the fuel filter and some of those things. I might try to test the control arms, but if it feels like the bolt's gonna break, which they do a lot of times. I don't know about the EKs as much as the EGs, but a lot of times the lower control arms, the middle bolt that goes to the shock will break. We don't need the control arms, we just need the shock. So if it does break, I think the way it's made, we can just cut those off or something. I'm not really sure how it goes through, I don't remember. It's been forever ago. But I already have all those, I have the new ones. And I did order some new lower control arms because they're super flimsy too for the BMW. This thing's got a power draw, so I gotta figure that out. And the Subaru, I'm still waiting on the power steering pump. So I'm not really gonna get into any of those projects until after this drift weekend. There's pretty big weekend, I think, from everything I'm looking at, and a lot of the names that I'm seeing that's going to show up. Rise Fab's going to be there, the guys that did my roll cage. Probably by then you will have seen the Rise Fab video. I think that's the next one, or one or two from now. But I've got a little video of when I went to Rise Fab. I don't know how much I'm going to put in it, but I did video some of their cars, and I did have a short video, just a small thing of the cage that was installed. The cage I bought from somebody. It's the Injuku FD approved cage that they sell. And so they actually installed it, and I think they might have had to put a little material with it, but that dude's put in, and I got a little footage of it, not a lot, but I've had that they only had it for like less than a week, I think. So it was super quick turnaround, and I think they were talking maybe a couple weeks to a month, and then it ended up in just a matter of days. So that worked out pretty good. So I'm gonna try to get some of this stuff cleared out, try to get 2 bays emptied out, and try to bring the black 240 back, and maybe try to get the white one back in here and try to do some more on it. I may clean one of these side bays up and clean it out real good, and bring the white 240 back in and try to work on the interior for a while. But so yeah, that's where I'm going. But yeah, that's going to kind of hang out. I may do some, like the transmission tunnel for the shifter. There's some stuff I want to do there. It's not really a lot I can do on this car until I get that rear diff, but we'll have it welded and it'll be ready to go in as soon as I get it. I'll just have to clean it out and take it straight to the weld shop. Clean both of them. I'm actually going to take 2 and have them both done. So that way they'll both be ready to install, and I can do mine, then I can do my son's car, and then we'll both, have that done. And then I'll be ready for exhausting the dyno on the silver one. So yeah, and then we'll be able to get on to the black 240 and the BMW and the Civic and the Subaru and all that stuff. That stuff should move pretty quick. What'll hold us up, what'll take a minute still yet, will be the white 240. And maybe the S14, the black 240, it might take a minute. I don't know what all I'm gonna do there yet. Probably, again, probably bare minimum. I may end up selling that car, I really don't know yet. And I may just keep it as something extra to drift if the IS300 goes down, or until we get the S13 together. So, but I may sell it and put the money onto the 13. Don't really know just yet, so I'm still kind of winging it right here, so bear with me. We had been drifting a lot here lately. My son's been working. I don't really know why. We just hadn't. We just not got together on a weekend and traveled. Nyota, where we've been going, I don't know what's going on with that, so we've not really went there, and that's where we were going all the time. And everything's going to be hours and hours away. We're actually going this weekend to Chilhowie, which will be a big deal. So stay tuned for that one. I don't know how much longer after this video it'll be before you'll see it, because I've still got a few days until then, and there's some things I might end up filming between now and then. Maybe not. Who knows? Depends on what goes on here. But yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. hit the subscribe button, you know, the little bell, hit the little bell. That'll give you the notifications that we've posted another video. Hey guys, thanks for everything. I can't thank you enough. The ones that are subscribing and watching the videos, thanks guys. I really do appreciate it. And we've come a long way. We've got a long way to go still yet, but we have came a long way since day one, for sure. But yeah, I appreciate it guys, and I don't see us stopping anytime soon. So there's still a lot more to build, there's still a lot more to do, and we're gonna start trying to get on the road here. Maybe not a ton through the winter, but come springtime, hopefully the S13 will be ready to roll, and we'll get on the road some and get some drifting done. So, all right guys, hey, thanks for watching the videos. We'll see you on the next one. All right, here we go. Okay, so what I thought would be an easy power steering change out on the Subaru, changed it. As you can tell, it's new. It's wet because I washed everything out. Didn't change anything. It literally still does the same thing. It's whining and it's bubbling up in the reservoir. So I really don't know. The wire was broke when it came, but it's together good enough that it should be getting connection and everything should be working as it should. I tightened and loosened the belt, try to maybe change something. I don't know. So this thing over here, I found a water leak at the thermostat housing, and I think it may actually be the pipe that comes, let's see, yeah, here we go. The pipe that comes to here on the back of the water pump, I think that actually may be what's leaking. So may have changed that gasket. I don't think it's the actual thermostat leaking. It may be, but it's not going to hurt anything to go ahead and change it while we're here before I get it finished. I got time, still waiting on the diff. Yeah, but it left me a surprise today. I washed the rollback, washed the BMW, or not the BMW, washed my son's IS300. The chase base parts didn't come in today. So I don't know if I'll have time tomorrow to finish trying to get that together. He may just have a spongy pedal tomorrow. I think the clutch will be okay. I just think the, you know, to change gears, or like if you go to put it in reverse, you may have to pump the pedal twice and then pull it in gear. But once it's in gear, it's good. Maybe, but after it warms up, it does okay too. So maybe try to bleed it real quick tomorrow. I don't know. But tomorrow we've got to get everything ready and get prepared to hit the old drift track on Saturday. I'm pretty excited about it. It's a pretty big deal. I believe this one's a pretty big to-do. I think it's going to be a good turnout. So, all right, here we go. All right, the shop's a wreck. We got this jewel loaded up. We're ready to rock. We got tires, we got wheels and tires in the back. The power steering I'm not having luck with. It's still kind of whining. I don't think it's any better than what it was. I tried to bleed it and go through a bunch of different stuff. No luck. On this, I think I did find the water leak. I think it's the thermostat housing was just a little loose. And if not, the pipe that comes up to the back, it's possible that the gasket's bad on it. So, she's running. runs all right. Not really any smoke. It is running a little rich, but that's okay. I think I've got all the fluid leaks stopped. I got the 2 diffs that I ordered, and I'll be dang if they ain't both, LSDs. I specifically asked them to make sure the diffs were both open diffs. They are not. Both of them are lockers, just like LSD. So that's okay. I think I figured out how to weld them. So we'll go from a 3.9 to a 410. Mine will be a 3.9 to a 410. My son's will be a 3.7 to a 410. So we got that ready to go to the weld shop. This jewel's cleaned up. I say cleaned up. It looks like an absolute murder scene. My son, he decided to go ahead and give me some money on the Civic, so he's going to have that as a daily. That's something I have been trying to contend with. He needs a daily, so I can, once I start pulling his motor out to turbo it, that'll give him something to drive. That way, if one of my guys needs the work truck, we can pull it, and he won't be driving it. I can load it up with tools and material and stuff. The old BMW, it's got a power draw. I did a burnout with it yesterday somewhere. I don't know if it's still on the ground. A little bit of one somewhere there. Did okay. The pedal feels real heavy. I thought it was less power than what it actually is. It's like the pedal just has more like resistance, like a bigger spring or something holding more pressure back. I was thinking, well, this thing's going into try to go into limp mode, or what you call it, traction control is trying to come on. But I don't think it was that at all. I think it ended up being that the pedal's just like more difficult to push. It just feels like more resistance on it, like maybe there's a heavier spring or the throttle body's sticking or something. But it did do a good burnout. But yeah, it may not be too bad of a car. It's got a horrible exhaust leak. As long as I don't pay attention to that and I just go beat on it, I think it'll be okay. But yeah, well, I'm almost done for the day. I'm gonna keep on this, see if it's, make sure I don't have a water leak. We're ready to weld the diffs next week. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going drifting. All right, here we go.
I'm feeling high.